Okay, let's do this. So every single reason why you might procrastinate, and I'll give you some simple tips and tricks that I use to help me fix these reasons so you can procrastinate less. Okay, we're gonna be speedrunning this because I've dropped my sister off to school pretty soon. So okay, let's see here. The first reason is because you're tired. So this one is obvious. When you're tired, you have less willpower, you have less discipline, you don't feel like doing anything, you feel groggy, lethargic, you're a bitch, you're a hoe, you're a dumbass, yada yada yada. It goes on and on and on and on. You're tired because of a few reasons. Okay, so the way this impacted me was because I suffer from afternoon crashes, like really bad afternoon crashes. So anytime around like 12 and like 4, I am incredibly susceptible to like being super 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 tired. Okay, um if you're anything like me and you have afternoon crashes, these things are the ones that affect you. What you can do is you can do things around the time of your afternoon crash to alleviate some of that laziness and to increase your energy. So for example, these would be your typical things to increase your cortisol. That'd be like your cold showering or exercising or like going on a walk. Just like do something different, change up, shock your body just a little bit so the afternoon crash doesn't hit you as hard. You have more energy. Another thing I want to say though is that like being tired is not like the be all end all. Like being tired is not just like, oh, I'm tired, I have to procrastinate. Like you can push through your tiredness, your laziness, which is like the best case scenario is that you have the discipline to push through it. But if you don't, obviously cold showering, these things I talked about before, spiking your energy is gonna help a lot. If you're just tired throughout the day, you're likely like lacking in sleep or some other issue. So if it's some other issue, I can't help you. But if it's like sleep. I have a whole sleep video. You can go check that out to improve your sleep if you're tired throughout the day. Obviously improving your sleep is going to give you more energy throughout the day. It's going to make you wake up better. It's going to reduce your like other things. One thing I want to say about afternoon crashes though is you shouldn't be taking a nap in the afternoon crash. Or if you do, it should be like a 20-minute, less than 20 minutes, very quick, very like controlled nap. Because those like me who take like a nap in the afternoon crash, they know what happens, right? You take a nap and you wake up like 2 hours later and you're like sweating in your bed sheets and you're just like in a fucking daze while your like parents are making dinner or something. You just go like, oh, what? Okay, so or maybe dinner's already eaten or some shit. So don't take a nap. Because taking a nap's gonna fuck up your sleep anyway. So you better not like what I instead recommend is to do what's called a non-sleep deep rest by Andrew Huberman. You can just search it up, NSDR by Andrew Huberman. It's super science-based because it's Andrew Huberman. I love Andrew Huberman. His like, I'm not gonna make that joke. But yeah. So those are like the main notes I have on tiredness. Let's see here. Day's already been ruined. Okay. So yeah, the second reason why you might procrastinate is because you feel like you already ruined the day. So there's like no point in doing any more work. And this is like very unique, I want to say, okay? So basically, at least how I operate. So by the way, all of these reasons are like based off like things I did, okay? The only reason I'm giving them is because I know there's a lot of people like me in that world. So the people like me in this world are going to heavily relate to the shit that I'm talking about. And they're going to really like resonate with this. So the second reason is that you already like sort of lost the day. So the way I view my day is like I kind of view it as like a streak, right? So the morning is like the start of the streak, and then like the end of the day is like the end of the streak or some shit. And I try as much as possible to keep my day going as strong as possible. But the moment like I fall off, I hop off my schedule, I procrastinate just like a little bit or like 30 minutes or an hour, I'm already off my schedule and it's a lot harder to get back into focus. You know what I'm saying? So it's really easy to maintain focus, but it's very difficult to regain focus entirely, if that makes sense. So the best case scenario is you don't fall off on your day, right? You don't lose your momentum. But obviously that's incredibly difficult because, that means you have to like follow your schedule entirely perfectly. Maybe that's easier for you if your schedule is like super easy. But for me, I always like try and push myself to get more work done in a day, right? So it's very difficult for me to maintain this like pristine, perfect, like 13, 14 hours of work every single day schedule. Because, what the fuck? Like 13, 14, like what the fuck? That many hours a day. Like I work more hours than my parents, bro. But But, you know, it's towards shit I like, so it obviously is a bit easier. What was I saying? Yeah, okay, so the only advice I can give you is to progressively overload your schedule and the shit you do in the day, okay? If you give yourself a very unattainable schedule, you're always going to fall short. If you always fall short, you're always going to face like snowball effect. If you give yourself more rest time throughout the day, maybe less work, it's a bit more attainable for you, but obviously still right outside your limits, so you're always pushing yourself a little. That's how you gradually improve and not procrastinate throughout the day. Because, like, I'm not going to lie, if you've already wasted an hour or 2 hours of the day just like doing fucking nothing, you gooned it 3 times, you played like an hour of video games, and then you cried about your ex for like an hour or some shit, like obviously it's going to be so unimaginably difficult for you to regain focus. One thing I can say though is, like, again, like with the previous reason, if you're tired, like the same thing as when you're tired, if you like cold shower or you exercise, or you know, you talk to a friend and they motivate you a little, you know, you watch a motivating video, these things can like more help you easily regain your focus and get back on track. So those are also things you can try. How long have I been recording? 7 minutes. Okay, bet. Let's see here. Illusion evidence. Okay, yeah. The third reason you might procrastinate is because you think you have more time to do something. So there's this rule. Fuck, what was it called? Work expands so as to fill up the time. Parkinson's law, okay? So Parkinson's law, which I knew, it was in my brain the whole time because I really resonate with it, is basically work expands so as to fill up the time needed to complete it. What this basically means is if you give yourself 60 minutes to complete a 20-minute task, the 20-minute task is going to take up the whole 60 minutes because you're going to end up procrastinating. You're going to do things that aren't necessary. You're going to do extra things. You're trying to be a perfectionist because you have this available time. Whereas if you shrunk it down, you said, I have to get this shit done in 20 minutes, you'd still get it done in 20 minutes with basically the same like result. So the way this manifested for me is in my morning and my night routines, okay? So in the past, I gave myself too much time to get my morning and my night routine. It's crazy. I gave myself like an hour to do my night routine. It's fucking unbelievable because the only thing I do in my night routine is shower, meditate, make a smoothie, brush my teeth, get my bed, get my clothes. It's like it does not take an hour. And because I gave myself so much time, my whole night routine sort of expanded to fill up that time. That means that like throughout like my tasks, like, you know, between brushing my teeth and picking my clothes for tomorrow, maybe I'd scroll on my phone for 5 minutes, yada yada yada. I do these things that would waste time because in the back of my mind, I knew, like deep down in my subconscious, I knew that I could waste time. I had time to waste, you know, I could afford to like goon for a little bit between my tasks and my routine. So when I shortened down my night routine from an hour to 30 minutes, it became a lot more compact, and I didn't procrastinate on the night routine because if I procrastinated, I wouldn't have time to finish my night routine. So I actually had to like, the time was actually like of the essence. It was actually necessary for me to be locked in. So this applies to your work blocks as well. So if you're anything like me, you got a calendar, you got your work blocks. If you assign yourself too little work to do during those work blocks, you're going to end up procrastinating during it. Also, if you assign yourself too much work to do during those work blocks, you're going to face like that streak snowball effect. So you're going to not live up to your expectations. Then you're going to be off your schedule. Then you're going to be completely fucked. So make sure for your work and for other things, they land in this like sweet spot Goldilocks zone. And like quick disclaimer, it does take some testing to figure out like where that is. Like the limits and the capabilities of your work and your focus. But once you figure it out, it's very nice. You can just like progressively overload. You can track it, yada, yada, yada. Okay. How much have we been recording? 10 minutes? Okay, guys. I'm going to start another recording because this camera can't record for longer than 11 minutes. Ready? Cut in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, we're back. Baby, we're back. Okay, the fourth reason is that you have excuses that enable your procrastination. So this is like a demon. This is like one that really affects me, and it even happens subconsciously, okay? You'll have excuses that come up. They might be valid. They're most often not valid. And you just use these because you want to procrastinate, you want to like waste time, you don't want to do work. You use these excuses as like a, what's the fucking word? Oh, bro, I'm like so retarded. Every single time I actively try and find a word that describes a situation, I can't find it. So, whatever. But it's like it's an enabler, okay? It's an enabler. It's not necessarily the excuse you have might not necessarily be true. It might not even be relevant anymore. It's probably most of the times, like 99% of the times, it's completely fucking false. But you use it to procrastinate and waste time because obviously you don't want to do work. So more tangible examples would be like, you know, your fucking I don't know, someone, you're in your house and you're doing work and someone calls you, right? You low-key, you get like a bit of this like happiness when someone calls you because you're like, I have a free excuse not to do work anymore. So you like stand up and maybe it's like your dad who like, or your mom like who finished making food, or your dad who did something or some shit. But like the thing that's important is that you're supposed to be working and you're not, because this thing came up and you said, because this thing came up, I don't have to do work anymore. So excuses, me and you know, they all come in these like many different bullshit forms. The most difficult excuses are the ones that you can use over and over again that are long lasting and always affect you. I'm not going to tell you what those are because actually I fucking will. So, you know, I'm just going back on my words. So I have a paper here and I have a paper here. Common source of procrastination, but this should really say common excuses for procrastination. This one says if reason for ditching calendar is, and I have a bunch of excuses. So these are the excuses that fuck me up the most. Oh, I should probably talk to them. Okay, yeah, the audio is going to be a little muffled because I'm going to be talking backwards. Sorry, I can't unscrew my mic. Okay, so yeah, I'll try and do this. Okay, so common source of procrastination for me, I have starting new TVs and movies. So if I'm starting a show or some shit, sometimes I'll be like, oh, but I got to finish the show. So I'll finish the show and then I'll do work. That's an excuse. Productive voice chats with friends. So I'll pretend like I'm voice chatting with a friend and I'm talking about like business or something, but in reality, I'm just on the strongest fucking battlegrounds while doing it. So it's not actually, it's just an excuse. Screwing around with family is a big one. You know, my parents call me, or I just like go to my sister's room and I beat her with a pillow. It's like, you know, those are also excuses. Choosing music is a huge one for me, like a massive one for me, because I'd be like, oh, I don't like this song. And I go on Spotify and I like, oh, pick a different song. Oh, I don't like this, pick a different song. And I'd end up wasting like 10, 20 minutes just choosing music. You know, obviously I'm being tired there. Let's see. Yeah, they're mostly the same thing there as well. So those are just some of my excuses. They might be common, like shared between me and you as well. But, you know, it takes some work to identify your excuses. So that's why I also recommend you watch my video on reflecting. It's actually my second video ever. I'm gonna probably remake that eventually because, you know, my second video ever is kind of trash. I'm talking like a weeb. I'm still like afraid of YouTube. But yeah. Make sure you can identify your excuses so that way, and you know, write them on a piece of paper, stick them on your wall. That way, when they rise up again, when you get these excuses again, you can say, no, you're a dumb bitch. You're fake. You're products of my amygdala thinking, and I'm not going to listen to you. The last reason I have is hammering temptations. I should really say stacking temptations. I talked about this in my last discipline video. This video will improve your discipline. You should watch that one. But basically what that video is talking about is it's all about discipline, but the part we're concerned with is about temptations. So if I have Roblox open on my computer, Roblox is like the video game I play. It's what I usually procrastinate with. If I have Roblox open on my computer, but I'm not like, I don't have a game open, I just have the browser open, that's a temptation. So when I'm working, I'll constantly be thinking, oh, but I could be hopping on Roblox, so they're right there. If I'm a junk food addict and I have a bag of chips right here, even if I'm not actively eating it, I will still get the temptation like, oh, I want to eat the chips. And these temptations require discipline and willpower to stick your dick in. No, what the fuck? To like eliminate and get rid of. And if you stack too many of these temptations, obviously they're gonna drain your discipline and your willpower. In the discipline video, which only got like 16 fucking views. Anyways, like I said in that video, what you should do is you should keep your temptations to just like the core base, like essential ones that you really need. So your like core vices, and also make sure that they're always in this like progressive overload growth zone, okay? Because you can't eliminate all your temptations. And I explained this in my other video, because you eliminate all your temptations. You like delete all video games, you delete all social media, you get porn blockers, you throw out all your junk food. That's nice, it's handy, you'll get more work done, but you won't train your discipline because you're not using your discipline at all, because you know the temptations don't exist. So, and that means that the moment you reintroduce these factors, they're gonna completely like, it's like an ecosystem, right? You can take out the, okay, this is a horrible example, but whatever. I'm here anyways. I made my bed, I might as well sleep in it. So you got like an ecosystem, and you got like an invasive species. The invasive species fucks everything up. If you eliminate the invasive species, it's fine. But the second you reintroduce it back, it's gonna keep fucking things up. You know what I'm saying? Unless like, you know, as an ecosystem, you get like stronger predators or some dumb shit. Okay, so that was a horrific example. That's not how ecosystems fucking work. But hopefully you get my point. So we want to improve our discipline by keeping in some amount of temptation, just enough that I have to use my discipline and like improve it and get past these temptations, override these urges, but not enough that it's like just like hammering me down. I'm just getting hit by like all sides. There's just like 80 cogs all around me. It's like a Bonnie Blue type situation. Okay. Wow. You know, luckily I'm a small channel, so I'm not gonna get like flagged or fucking demonetized. But okay, those are the 5 that I have written down. There might be more, but those are like the 5 main core ones. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and if you made it this far, which I want to say 2 things. I want to shout out to 2 people. Okay, I want to shout out to Dr. Dirt, my friend, Jerry. That might be a dox. Let me know if you want me to take it down, but I think I've said your name in the comments before. Thank you. You know, always been commenting, day one supporter. Also, thank you to Tyser Kirk. Now, I don't know if that's how I pronounce your name. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. Like, I'm really sorry if I mispronounced it. But thank you to you too, bro. You're actually just like always just fucking commenting on all my videos, always watching all my videos, no matter how trash they are. So I promise, if nothing else, if I never get big, I'll keep posting for you guys, okay? But anyways, that's the end of the video. That is the end of the video. Oh, the thumbnail video has 31 views. Thanks, guys. That's double the discipline one, and I just like gooned it on that one. Okay, anyways, for real this time. See you guys. Hopefully you learned something. Yada yada. Like and subscribe. Apparently, whenever YouTubers like actually sit, like if it's so dumb, because YouTubers always ask you to subscribe, and I don't know, like I always be like, why would you ask that? Because if I wanted to subscribe, I would. But then looking at like some of the videos I have, I know I don't have that much data, but looking at some of my videos, all the ones that got subscribers are the ones where I actually like said to subscribe in the video. So it's like actually weird. Okay, but anyways, yeah, thank you so much for watching. See ya.